Well, look, more information about Charlie Kirk's assassin is coming to light. Police have revealed that Tyler Robinson was in a relationship with a transgender woman.
Robinson shot Charlie Kirk dead as he answered a question at Utah Valley University about trans shooters. Now we learn that the gunman was living with a trans partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female.
As a self-professed Christian, Kirk criticised the goals of the LGBTQ movement, expressed opposition to same-sex marriages and spoke out against gender reassignment surgeries and procedures. But he always spoke about these issues with kindness and empathy.
You're part of the problem, I think, with the hatred on trans people. It's really not that deep. Like, if someone wants to dress up however they want, that's totally fine.
Okay, so
and I think that's where the hatred comes from.
I'm not preventing you from dressing up.
Yeah.
However, let me ask you a question. I will flesh this out.
Ahead.
So let's pretend you say you are a woman.
Let's pretend.
I know you are a man, but I refuse to call you a woman.
Okay.
Who's the hateful one?
I would say you are. I mean, I wouldn't.
So you're
going to
force me and shame me?
No,
hold on a second.
Anything, man.
I'm the hateful one.
It's really just like common courtesy.
It is never common courtesy to lie. Okay. You do not become a thing just because you say it, you are the thing. And guess what? Nobody in the history of the species that was born XX or born XY and transitioned is able to change their chromosomes. Every one of your cells is coded either XX or XY. And it is an insult to women everywhere in this audience and across the country that's saying that you could just wear makeup and dress like a woman, undergo surgery, that you magically become a woman. And it is the abolition of women and is the abolition of reality, and we see great unjust human suffering because of it.
But respectful disagreement like that was apparently too much for the Tolerance Brigade, whose idea of dialogue seems more like a bullet. So here we are, a Christian father murdered on stage, not for cruelty, but for truth spoken with kindness.
Well, James, I firstly want to address this extreme left gender ideology. Now, I am absolutely by no means suggesting that there is some sort of epidemic of trans people who are mass shooters or gunmen. But I want to point out that we have seen a recent trend around the world. So we've got the partner of this suspect, trans. A few weeks ago, 2 children were killed outside a Catholic church in Minneapolis. The gunman was trans. The Iowa school shootings last year, the gunman was gender fluid. Colorado Springs gay club shooting, the shooter was non-binary. Nashville, Denver, Aberdeen, all of those shootings, all those mass shootings, all conducted by a gunman who was identifying as trans. Now, I'm aware that this is a very specific fringe of the community, a very small fringe, that seem to have this very warped gender ideology and, in my view, have completely been brainwashed. And I think that is the problem. And all it takes is for these people who are clearly confused, right? It takes one person to go, that person is Hitler, that person is a fascist. They've got it into their mind and they've taken matters into their own hands. That's all I can put it down to. And that is why words are so important. We saw it throughout the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, where a gunman was motivated by ideology, not gender in that case. But again, all it takes is of somebody who is deeply disturbed to hear the words Hitler and fascist to take matters into their own hands. Secondly, I just want to point out, as you said, Charlie Kirk was a Christian. This is a man who held genuine Christian values. And now suddenly what Christianity is controversial in day-to-day life. What? Because, you point out a biological fact that there are only 2 genders, male and female, or that men should be kept out of women's spaces. But how on earth did we get here in this day and age, James? So you're a Christian yourself. How did we get here where Christians are now controversial?
Well, I think Christianity has been controversial for 2,000 years. They killed Jesus because he spoke truth. And, of course, Pilate, when Jesus said he'd come to testify to truth, Pilate said, what's truth? Which is modern culture, right? We have moral relativism. What's true for me may not be true for you. Who am I to say what's normal? Who are you to say what's right? Each to his own. Of course, that works to a point, but ultimately we all understand that truth is not inward, it's beyond us, which means there's a God. Most people don't want there to be a God, because if God's God, I'm not. That's offensive because I want to do what I want. And so what I think we've seen with Charlie Kirk's murder is this is not about politics. This is a battle for the soul of Western nations, which were built on a Judeo-Christian ethic, the understanding that there is a God and that God has a certain plan for our lives, and we build a worldview around that. Not everybody subscribes to belief in Jesus and his resurrection, but typically people have always understood we agree with Christian values. We might not go the whole way, but broadly we agree with it. I agree with that, We're not at that point in Western culture anymore. There's a battle over whether or not Christianity should play any role in the public space. And what the left have not answered is if you do away with Christianity, what replaces it? And we haven't seen a legitimate answer yet,
No.
other than power and guns and violence. And I think we'll see a swing back to Christianity because of Charlie Kirk's death. We might talk about that a little later.
No, I completely agree with you, James.